Hello, Salbonan Linjan. Welcome along to Gear Up. I am Sheriff Zim, and in today's episode, I am with a car make that I love the most. This is my favorite car make. This is the BMW 116i, which is a 1 Series, the F20 edition, which came into production in 2011 and ceased production around 2019. So one thing that I need to just clarify about BMW, I'm a BMW fanboy, and people who like BMW, if most of them are like me, we love performance and we love good design, we love luxury, because BMW combines that sophisticated and beautiful design with the good performance that we all love. You know, BMW is not mainly focused on comfort, although we have other luxury models, which are the 7 Series and slightly the 5 Series. They offer you, some kind of comfort, but mainly BMWs are made for the performance, aspect. These are machines made for sheer driving pleasure. Let us talk about the front look. Firstly, obviously you get these dual grills, which is known as the BMW kidney grill. So you get, quite large as compared to what we are getting now on these smaller models. This is a large kidney grill, and then obviously you get a BMW emblem right here. And then when you come to the lights are up to the timer, up to date. In fact, these lights are way ahead, because if we are saying that this car started production in 2011, to get xenon lights and LED lights on the same car for a car that was made in 2011, this is futuristic design if we are considering the time that these cars were made. And then we come down here where we have these are also xenon fog lights, and then we get some plastic bits here which are for air intake, and then you get these slightly, I could call it a front diffuser. I could call it low-key. It's a low-key front diffuser, which just gives the car a bit of a sporty look. And then when you come to the bonnet, we get these definition lines, on the bonnet, which just give you a certain sense of performance. When you look at this car and you come face to face with this car, you can feel that this car is a car that is made for performance. Now, let us get into the engine. When you come to the engine, this car runs on a 1.6 liter turbocharged engine, which is turbocharged, and it produces 136 horsepower, and it also produces 220 newton meters of torque. So one thing that I love about these BMW engines is, these are the kinds of engines that give you very low fuel intake, but still give you performance that you'd get maybe in like 2 liter Japanese engines. So these BMW engines give you more power than what you get on a 1.5 liter if it is a Japanese engine. And then as we continue with the design, we come to the side profile. Let's look at it from this side. When you look at the side profile of the car, you can really tell this is a car that was made with considerations in terms of the design being outdated, being ahead of its time, so that it stays longer in terms of design language. So as usual, BMW emphasizes on things like performance and the beauty of the car. And because of performance, you get these definition lines right here, which runs here. It just adds a touch of sophistication and a touch of when you just look at something, you can tell, no, this is meant for performance, even without knowing which make it is. And then you get a sport emblem, because this is a 116i sports package. It's the M Sport package. It's not an M1, it is a 116i M Sport package. And when you come to the rims, these come stock. You get about this 16-inch alloy wheels. This is a beautiful design, and what shocks me is these wheels come stock. You don't have to pay extra for you to get wheels, rims like that. And then you get your fuel intake fixture. And then when you come to the back side of the car, I think when it comes to BMWs, I'm not a fan of hatchbacks. So because this is a hatchback, I don't really like the back of it, because I am a sedan kind of guy. It's either for me, you give me a coupe or a sedan. Those are two of my most favorite kinds of cars. And then obviously you get a BMW emblem here, some definition lines. You get I think I'm the only one who calls this a spoiler light. It's a spoiler-like thing. It's like they wanted to put a spoiler, but they were not sure, so they ended up putting this, what I call a spoiler light. And then you get this shark fin. It just adds in terms of aerodynamics. And then you get the 116i badge. So let me teach you something about BMWs. If this numbering, so this first is the model number. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So if this is you have a 1 here, it means it's the 1 series. If it's a 2, it's a 2 series. If it's a 3, it's a 3 series. If it's 4, it's 4 series going up until 7 series. And then this second 2 numbers are the engine size numbers. So because this is 16, it is a 1.6 liter. If you get 20, it means it's a 2.0 intake engine. So yeah, generally. And then you get LED tail lights, which are also, you know, they just add up to the design of the car and, you know, the modernness of the car. And then you get another tail light. This is another LED tail light. And then you get your wipers, obviously. And then when you come to the boot, before we get inside the boot, it has a boot capacity. Please don't mind. I've been driving this car for the whole week, so you know, obviously I had to put some luggage. So this boot has a capacity of 360 liters with the seats folded up. And then if you fold the seats down, you get up to 1.2 thousand liters of boot space. So in terms of boot space, considering that it's a small car, it's a hatchback, it's not meant to carry lots of things. This is a good boot capacity. So generally, that's what you get outside of this car. Before I get into the inside, let me give you a brief breakdown of the cost of ownership of this car. When it comes to service, German cars, especially from 2 liter going down, they get almost the same cost of ownership when you talk in terms of service. So the service of this car is around $150 per service, and you probably go for 10,000 kilometers after each and every service. And then when you come to the suspension, because I consider suspension because obviously because of the nature of our roads, at one point in Zimbabwe you need to make sure you fix your suspension. So the suspension of this car is similar to most small German cars. It needs around $500 for you to get the whole suspension. That includes material and labor. And yeah, I think that's about all when we talk of the outside and the cost of ownership. So now let's get into the interior before we go for a drive. Alright, so when we get into the inside of the BMW F20, one thing that I love about BMW, they make sure that the driver is, you know, in a driving heaven, in a performance heaven. So generally what you get inside the BMW, before you talk about anything, you get a dashboard that is driver centered. So it's slightly tilted to the driver so that the driver gets to control everything in the car with the most I think the best, or the most you can go in terms of ease. So generally you get BMW iDrive, you get around, this is I think around a 9-inch infotainment screen with BMW iDrive system. And you know, BMW iDrive system is the best, one of the best, you know, infotainment systems that you get in any car. And then right down here you get, you know, your automatic radio tuning button. So if you like a certain station on the radio, you can easily just, you know, add your station onto this custom button. So if you like maybe 87.9, you can then just go to 87.9, then you tune it, and then you make sure that when you press this button it goes to 87.9. so it's quite a lengthy process, but if you just go ahead and Google it, you get it over there, and then you get your aircon, your cooling system controls right here, your heating and cooling system right here. And then because this is a sports package, you get a different type of seats. These are fabric seats with red stitching, and every time you get red stitching, it just black and red just add that touch of performance, sophistication and stuff. And then you get a plastic. I hate plastic in cars, but this is a different kind of plastic, which is, I think it's a plastic that is covered in like a resin type of material, which is then textured to look like leather. And then you get this plastic bit over here, and then you get a red trim right here, which just adds in terms of design and stuff. And then in terms of safety, inside you get obviously a driver's airbag right here, and then you get a passenger's airbag right here, and then you get another 2 more airbags right here, and then you get some curtain airbags, which are located at the top of this car right here. And then right here you get your light control systems, and then the emergency SOS button right here that you can press to get in touch with emergency systems. And then when you come right here on the driver's seat, unfortunately you don't get shifting pedals. These shifting pedals come as an option that you can add, and it comes at an extra cost when you want to add shifting pedals and on your steerings. But generally it's a steering that can control everything on your infotainment screen, just excluding the aircon system. So you can control your infotainment, what you want your dashboard to display, and you can control such things on this. And then when you come down here, you get the rotor system for your BMW iDrive system. So you can control going up, going down using this rotor, and then you can select using this, and you can just control your stuff from here. And then you can control your media, your menu, your telephone, and back and option right here. And then when you come to this gear shifter, this is a gear shifter that BMW used from around 2011 to 2019 when they made these F10, I think it's F10, F30 and F20 BMWs, and the other similar year variations of the other series. So this is I think it's according to me, it's one of the best ways that you can design a gear shifter in, of course excluding that rotor system that you get in the Jaguars, Range Rovers. But generally, if you're talking of a shifting stick, this is one of the best shifting sticks that you can get in any car. So what you simply do is, when you want to change into any gear, you just press unlock, and then you push to the gear that you want. And then if you want to go back to park, you can just press a park button that is up here. And then when you press unlock here, you can choose to go to sports mode, drive, neutral, and all those stuff. And then in terms of driving modes, you get an off-road driving system, you get Eco Pro, where the car prioritizing saving your fuel, it prioritizes fuel economy. And then you get a sport performance option, whereby the car prioritizes performance. And then I think that's about all. And then you get a keyless system inside, so you only need your key for unlocking your doors. Once you unlock your doors, you no longer need your key. You just it's a push to start. You just need to have your key inside the car, and then you can easily turn on the car. And obviously you get cruise control in cars like this, and you get, above all, you get the best fuel economy. And then as we go to the back seats, just to check if you get the same level of comfort that you get in the front. So currently I'm seated in the back seat, and because I am a person who slouches a bit when they drive, it's difficult for the people that are seated at the back to it's slightly difficult for the people that are seated in the front, to get a good leg room. But if this seat is put into the right position, you get decent leg room and plenty of headroom. I don't think with anyone would not fit in the back of this car. And then you get obviously aircon system at the back, 2 controls for the passengers, and then you get those seats that I was talking about, fabric seats with red stitching. That's to make sure that this car looks better. And then when you come to the doors, you get obviously your handles, your opening handle, and your window control systems at the back. So that's about it at the back. You get also these handles just to make when the driver is doing his thing, you can just make sure that you are fastened, and then you get seat belts, of course. And then in terms of sitting 3 people, you can get 3 people at the back, but the person at the center in the most comfortable way. So you just need to take that into consideration. The third seat, according to me, is a child seat. You get 2 adults and 1 child perfectly in this car. So let us go for a drive, and then we get to discuss more about the way this car handles and the way this car moves. Alright, so now we're going for a drive in the BMW F20 116i. So as I said earlier, you only need to make sure that your key is inside the car, and then you push to start the car. And then once your car is started, you just make sure that your handbrake is down, and then I feel like I'm teaching people how to drive. This is not a driving lesson. Let us just move. So you put your car in drive, and then we are ready to take off. Right now I have this car in Eco Pro mode, which is the mode that prioritizes efficiency in terms of fuel consumption. And in this mode, you don't really get the best when it comes to performance. You just get, it's a normal daily driver car. And I feel like if you're using this car as a daily driver, you need to make sure that this car is in Eco Pro mode, because it is the mode that will give you the best in terms of fuel efficiency. But then when you want the car to perform, because what I know is everyone who buys a BMW might not want to have the car performing every day, but the days that you want performance, the days that you're prioritizing performance, you make sure that you put your car in sports mode. And this car will give you 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in the time, which is I think 8 seconds. It will give you around 8 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. It's not the best, but it's good, especially when you consider that this is a car that is meant to be a daily driver. And then now I think I should just put the car in sports mode, so that we just get to just get to Alright, so when you put this car in sports mode, and then it has automatic start stop. So when you put this car in sport, it has 4 modes, by the way: Eco Pro, Comfort, and Sports Plus. So right now I have this car in Sports Plus, and I just want to feel how much it handles and what changes when in terms of acceleration. So let's go. All right. It does not compromise when it comes to performance. It is a proper BMW. I would like to, just give it one more go in sports mode, and just to check if what I felt is true, because the way it took off, it's one of those, one of those days when you are with a robot, and then you have a person anika Honda Fit kake beside pako who is trying to disrespect you. You just put your car in sports mode, and then just show that person why are you driving a German machine, and why are they driving a Japanese machine. So let's just do it one more time, and then we get to the general verdict. Do we love this car? Do we not love this car? What exactly are we saying when it comes to the dynamics of owning this car? Or should you go ahead and buy it? Should you go ahead and consider it? So let me do this one more time. Let me just try to time it. Can I have a timer? Let me just try to time it and just see how much how I can get from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. how much seconds I need to get from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Let me just try to launch it, just try to launch it, a launch nyana. The launches that I do on this channel are not the most accurate because the roads that I'm using are not sports road, and I'm trying to also consider things like safety. But then nevertheless, let's just try to launch, and then 3, 2, 1, go. Wow, so 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. 4 seconds from 0 to 60. This is a quick car. This is a quick car. So probably 0 to 100 will probably take you around 7-8 seconds. So what they said might be accurate. So let's put this car back in Eco Pro mode, and then I tell you a little bit about what I think about this car. So generally, this is a car that I think could, if you love performance and you love a good looking car, and you don't necessarily want a car that has a high fuel consumption, this is the car that you should get. Even in eco mode, performance you get what you get in a Honda Fit when it is not in eco mode. So this is a really good car. So generally, what I would say about this car, this is a car that you buy as a daily driver. It does not compromise on performance, but still it gives you that great fuel mileage that you want in a car that is a daily driver. So generally, this is a car that if you love BMW, it's a car that you should go ahead and buy, because it's a car that does not compromise on anything. So yeah, this is my verdict of the BMW F20 116 series. Until we meet again, always remember that you like, share, and you subscribe to the channel so that you keep on getting more and of course more of the good stuff. I know some of you might argue that these reviews that I'm giving you are not the best in terms of mechanical statistics or that jargon, that deep language, but these are reviews that I'm making for general people that want to buy cars. These reviews are not where you come and get information if you're a mechanic. No, these are for the general public. A person would want to buy a car like this, a person would want to buy a car for themselves. These are reviews that are meant for the general public. So until we meet again, always remember to stay safe, stay humble. A prayer a day keeps the devil away. Don't forget to pray.